And finally, for this week's episode, it's a return, happily, to the My Android Journey segment. And I'm delighted to say she's spoken already. We are joined by Amanda Hall from the UK. Welcome again, Amanda.
Oh, thanks.
No worries. Warren, do you want to lead us on this? I know this is, well, it's everyone's favourite segment, I think. But Warren, do you want to take this one away?
This is my most favorite part of the podcast or the episode. And, we don't have them often. And whenever we do, I am like a kid in a Christmas candy store. And so I'm excited, Amanda. Thank you so much when I reached out to you to see if you could come out and do your Android journeys.
Oh,
I
no
wasn't
problem.
sure that you were going to come or not, 'cause I'm like, yeah, I hope she accepts. And there you are accepting to come. And of course, Amanda, you are on our Telegram group. That's how I was able to
Yeah,
reach out
that
to you.
was it. Yeah, I was on the Telegram group, which was cool.
So, Amanda, take us to your Android journey story. I know you just started not too long ago with that Samsung tablet that we talked about a little while ago. Take us through the journey of your Android.
Well, it was really just a couple of months ago. It was like April, and it was I just one day randomly decided I felt like trying Android. Well, I'd thought about, like, I'd wondered in the past sort of vaguely what Android was like, but then I don't think I'd ever been anywhere where I got like where I could have a go of an Android phone or tablet. So I thought, well, the only way I'm going to do it is if I just buy one myself. So I bought an Android tablet, and I got it on the Easter weekend. And I'd listened to like a few of, so before I got it, I listened to sort of bits of the podcasts that you have done, and I sort of Googled the basics, because it came up, if you type it into Google, it comes up with the gestures, and I'd got the Mystic Access ones as well, so that I could remember a bit before I started. And I thought I'd be able to do it, but I thought it was actually, there is a lot you can do with it, but I thought it was going to be a bit more tricky than it actually was. But it was I didn't really find it any harder than I did with iOS to get used to like the basics and that. And then I got it obviously talking easily enough. For some reason, it took like when I got my tablet, it took like 3 goes. I don't know if I didn't leave it long enough before I restarted. I thought I had, because I seemed to wait ages just in case. But on the 3rd go of doing the volumes, it eventually came up. And yeah, it was easy to set it up. And that I just remember when it came up with the language, when you went to set up like to choose UK or British for the language, for some reason when I double tapped, it didn't actually say that language was selected. So I remember thinking when I went to the next bit, I hope it works and doesn't speak in some other random language. But luckily it worked all right. And yeah, so I got it, and then I just sort of figured out how to use it by listening to these podcasts on the Blind Android podcast and some of the Mystic Access ones, and then I just messed about a bit myself. And basically what I did is I downloaded some of the apps that I use on my iPhone to see what the Android versions were like, and a lot of them seem to be like quite similar, really. Like I tried things like Amazon and eBay, and they just seem as similar and as easy as the iOS versions. And then I got Facebook, which is kind of mostly the same, apart from it has that extra action buttons, which makes it a little bit slower, and it seems a bit more sluggish with TalkBack for some reason, but it works all right. And I can read everything all right on it. And I've tried a few launchers as well. I tried like the one that it came with was fine, and then I tried I think the action one, one launcher, and I tried there was something else I've forgotten now, but now I've got it on the Microsoft launcher, and I like that one the best. And I've also moved some things around and added things to my home screen, and I've put a few things in folders, and I've been messing about with a few, because like I've have a few widgets on iOS, so I thought, well, I'll try some of the Android ones. So I added a widget for, like, because I've got Hive for me heating, I added a Hive widget to my home screen so I can see the inside temperature directly in that, and I added the BBC weather one and that, and yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it.
So Amanda, it's interesting that you got this during the Easter weekend, and so it's more like a resurrection for you, right?
I never thought of that. That's quite funny.
It's absolutely such a beautiful coincidence, to say the least.
I never thought of
You got
that.
it on a resurrection. Amanda resurrected from the platform to a different platform.
Well, no, because obviously I'm still using my iPhone as my main phone, and whether I would change, I don't know. But even if I always, even if I didn't and decided to keep using an iPhone as my main phone, I really like Android just about as much. So I would probably now, even if I didn't ever change, always keep an Android device around because it's really fun and I'm enjoying it.
And it's a good way to, try it, most especially if you're going the route of the tablet, because, you're not using a phone that requires a SIM card. And maybe this is basically the Wi-Fi model. And so you're basically
It
trying
is.
and see if Android is for you or not. And that is absolutely a wise way to go about it. Or like I've always said, one should always get a phone that is a cheap phone, and then don't even bother about putting any SIM card in there. Just play with it and see if this is something you would like. But it sounds like you're having a good experience. Other than that language thing that you were kind of a little bit almost getting stuck on, were there any other aspects, or were there other issues that you have, or any problems that you ran into? In other words, were you frustrated in any way that you felt like you want to throw this thing out of the window? Because a lot of times when someone comes on to Android for the first time, of course, gestures are not the same and all of that. So that familiarity is not there, and it can be a little bit frustrating, isn't it?
Well, maybe a bit, but I thought it would have been a bit more frustrating. Really, I found it was obviously some of the gestures are different, but I found it I thought like the setup. I thought I was going to find things like a bit more tricky, but it was actually easier than I thought. But I made sure though, even though I'd read up on some of the basics, I did go through the tutorial on the setup just to make sure I knew exactly what I was doing. So I went through that and then type like I typed in my Wi-Fi password and I managed to do that FaceTime. For some reason, mine was set on the because I heard some of the Android phones and that are automatically set on like where you lift your finger to type, kind of the same way, which is how I like it on my iPhone as well. But for some reason, mine wasn't, which wasn't a problem because it was on the like stand. Well, what I mean, the what you call the standard typing on iOS, but the one where you have to double tap each letter, so it wasn't set on the but then again, iOS is when you set that up. So I thought, oh well. So I just double tapped each letter and I got my Wi-Fi password in FaceTime. So like nothing's like frustrated as too much of, well, actually apart from there was one mistake I made a week after getting it where I got some I downloaded the a cappella and the vocalizer voices, and I bought, I think it was one of the a cappella voices, but I had the download for the vocalizer, but I hadn't bought any of the voices within the program. So I thought, oh, I'll change to one of them. But unfortunately, I selected the wrong one and got a bit confused. So I selected the vocalizer, which I hadn't installed any of the voices for. So obviously it was doing the clicking sounds and I had no voice. I thought, oh, I'm going to have to get someone to help. So I had to, I got my mum to help because obviously she can see the screen because I'd gone on, but then I didn't know at the time I didn't have settings on my home screen and I knew how to get to it, but with the speech turned off, I didn't know how to get a sighted person to get to it. So in the end, I thought I might have to try and see if someone else could figure it out. But in the end, what I ended up having to do, because I'd gone back to my home screen, was because obviously I had talkback, but no turn talkback on, but so I had it with like no voice, but the sounds. So I did the 3 fingers to get to the talkback menu, and like I scanned it with seeing AI on the iPhone, and a little bit of guessing, and somehow managed to get to me text to speech and get it back on. I've got it onto the Google one, so that was a bit annoying. And another thing that doesn't
that is some serious problem solving right there.
It was an interesting way of solving it, but it somehow worked. I sort of had to guess a little bit. But one other annoying thing is that I can't get any of the. I mean, like I said before, I managed to get Braille to connect me Focus 14 to it, but none of the internal Braille screen input stuff works on mine for some reason. I don't understand why not, because I can do multi-finger gestures. But if I try and if I thought, because Braille screen input is something I really love on the iPhone, so I was really looking forward to trying it on Android. But when I tried to change to it, what it said it said unable to change to the keyboard. It said it could not support enough simultaneous key presses or something.
Yeah, that's right.
That is odd, though.
A lot of touchscreens do that. They won't all support the requisite number of fingers on the screen at the same time. I don't know where Android sets its limit. iOS doesn't support 6 anyway, which is quite funny. So if you want to do an FOR sign, you have to lift up one finger and replace it. Some Android phones.
That doesn't matter if because I've, I mean, if the only thing, it's only a minor inconvenience having to, basically what I mean, people have ways around it of managing to do the 4 sound by quickly doing one then the other. So I basically just type FOR out, I mean, I've just got used
That's
to
what
it.
I used to do until I knew about it.
I couldn't care if it supported 5 fingers and I had to type out FOR, but I think it only, but like I thought it probably wouldn't work, but I thought, I'll see what the advanced Braille keyboard does, and that doesn't tell you that it doesn't work. It lets you go into it and everything, but from pressing keys down, I realized I think it only supports about 4 fingers, because if I try and do any more than 4 fingers, it'll only recognize it'll only recognize 4 of them.
That is strange.
It's
and
not
that's
a lot of touch
tablet.
screens don't support many multi-touch. Like a lot of the some of the unbranded phones don't do it. But they won't support that many. I'm surprised the tablet doesn't. I don't know why the tablet.
I thought she has a Samsung tablet, though.
It's a Samsung A8.
Yeah. So that's. I mean, the A8 is one of the newest tablets out there from Samsung, and I'm surprised
like last year or something,
that you're not getting that, because that's kind of odd.
I wish I'd kind of researched. I mean, apart from that, the tablet's really good. But in a way, I wish I'd researched, and if I'd known about it, I would have purposely bought one that does, because that's something I really wanted to try. Either that, or I would have bought like a cheaper Android phone that did it, if there is a cheap Android phone that does Braille. But do the phones, like, I'm assuming the ones like the Pixels and stuff, they'll do it, won't they?
They do. I will type, all the 6 dots on my Pixel phone, the Braille virtual keyboard, no problems whatsoever. And actually, I even did that on a Galaxy S8. It works.
So the Samsung phones do it as well?
Yeah.
Oh, well, strange, but yeah, that's the only annoying thing, because that is something, because if I ever did get an Android phone, I would have liked to have known what Braille screen input, how good it was before I tried it on a phone. But yeah, that's the only annoying thing. But apart from that, it's good. I'm loving the tablet. It's fun trying the different things on Android, especially the different launchers, and trying all the different apps and just messing about in that, and the Google Assistant on there.
Yeah, so I had never been able to use the virtual Braille keyboard. We have several of those until the TalkBack virtual keyboard. And now with that, I'm able to do it, and especially using it in that table mode, which is my preferred method. And I tell you, I can type on that thing just as good as I'm doing it on a Perkins Braille. So I'm excited about it. I like it, and I don't have to use my Braille display when I'm doing Braille input on my phone. So It's
Yeah,
a good thing.
that's why I wanted to use it, because I thought, well, I can type on the on-screen keyboard on the thing, or I can use dictation, but I don't know, I like to be able to, and like I think if I had an Android phone, I would probably try it on away mode, because I like using it on a obviously on a tablet you'd need to be tabletop, but on a phone, if I had the phone, I would do it away, because I use mine on away mode on the iPhone, because I like to kind of hold the phone, but yeah, it's cool how you can do both on Android
I
as
use
well.
away mode.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah, I don't like the away mode.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Amanda. Such a beautiful story. And,
Oh, no
you
problem.
guys, if you're listening out there, don't be afraid. See, Amanda, did you have any doubts about coming on? Were you nervous? I don't think you are. You're very confident. And we just ask that, people come on and talk about the
Oh, no,
Android
it's
journey
been really,
stories.
it's good fun. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
And of course, if you don't feel like it, you can always record those stories and send it to us. You don't have to come on live, even though we prefer the live
Oh,
one,
it's more
because
fun coming on. That's
yes,
why
it's
I
more
said, oh, I
fun.
want to come on. I wanted to come on live. It sounds more fun than just recording it.
Exactly. Then you get to be part of the podcast crew for that day, and it's exciting. It's exciting to see you come on and doing this with us.
It's been
Thank you so
brilliant.
much.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
great stuff. Thanks, Amanda, and thanks, Kim and Chris, for being so generous with your time as well. Thanks for sticking with us for the hour and a half.
Oh, it was a
You're
blast.
very
Thanks for
welcome.
having
It was
us.
fun.
Brilliant, good stuff.